This is the IR remote that you get with the IR Turret. In this video, we will be showing you how to hack the IR Turret to receive commands for basically any other remote, like this one. Now, why would you want to do that? In general, learning the principles of how IR communication works will help you out to be able to hack plenty of other different types of things. In fact, I grabbed a bunch of the remotes around my house just to see how many of them already connect to the IR Turret without any other code. I reprogrammed the IR Turret so that way if any of the 17 original command buttons are registered by these random different remotes, it would fire the turret. That's terrifying. Back to the hack. For us to create this hack, we need to understand some basic overall concepts of IR remotes and how they work. First of all, we need to understand how infrared light and waves interact and how remotes communicate from the transmitter to the receiver. Once we understand those concepts, we can use this concept for the IR turret and multiple other use cases after that. What is infrared? Infrared is a light wave that is found on the electromagnetic energy scale, the spectrum, that also includes visible light, microwaves, radio waves, and a bunch of other type of energy, electromagnetic energy waves. Now you could find the infrared light just past red on the visible scale, kind of where it's got its name, infrared being beyond red. Now we can't see infrared light, but we can feel it basically as heat. We can also use infrared in cameras or in other aspects that can pick up infrared radiation, infrared heat. One of the things that is used for thermal cameras or even night vision goggles. And because cameras can see infrared light, you can actually point your remote directly into a camera and record it, and sometimes you'll actually be able to see the infrared light through the camera lens. So to answer the second question, if infrared is all around us, then how can we use it to communicate with IR remotes? Now the first part of that is there are a lot of infrared frequencies, but there are many of those that are just found in nature. So you don't want to use those because your IR remote will be interfered by the natural infrared in the world. So they've identified a few frequencies that are not found in nature, and they use those. One being 38 kilohertz. So you get one limited frequency to send your signal. By only having those few carrier frequencies, you'll see a lot more redundancy of use because you don't have many options. The second part of infrared communication is the encoding of the signals being transmitted by the light. Now this coding is essentially, think of it as a Morse code. As you hold a flashlight over your lens and kind of block the light from going back and forth, it's that type of pulse manipulation that allows the code to be able to understood as it is being sent and then received. Now there are a limited amount of codes that you can use with NEC protocol, part of the IR Turret, that only has 256 options. We use 17 of those in the remote by itself, meaning 6.64% of the combinations encoded in the IR receiver are already being used, and why it's not surprising that plenty of other remotes transmitting signals will actually overlap and call those signals. So enough basics. Let's go ahead and get this hack started. The first thing you need to do is obviously plug your IR turret into your computer so that way you can have access to the IDE. The infrared receiver on the IR turret can receive the infrared signal from most remotes. Then we see that communication on the computer to get the information we need to then update the code. Now after you've plugged in your IR turret, you want to select the stock code option. That already has a decoder in the code that allows you to see the command signals being sent in the serial monitor at the bottom. Now you may not understand what I'm saying. You'll be able to see what I'm talking about as we walk through the rest of the steps. So select the stock code and make sure your monitor is off. go ahead and compile and upload the code to your turret. Now in the serial monitor at the bottom, you may need to open it up. It may also be on the right side. You will be able to see that it's done uploading. Once it is done uploading, you then want to bump up to the top and switch the monitor to on. Once you select it on, it will now be able to communicate what signals are being passed to the IR turret into this serial monitor, so you can see exactly what the command button is. Once you click that on, you should see some green letters at the bottom of the serial monitor, kind of confirming that it is homing, that it's set up, and that it is good to go. Once you see some green letters, go ahead and press one of the buttons on your new remote, and you'll see some more information pop up. In that information, you'll see one little section that says command equals, and then a combination of 4 letters, usually a 0, an X, and maybe 2 numbers that will look similar to the command button numbers that are on the top of your code that you define originally in your code. To take this command number, you can then either overwrite the current buttons that you have already in place, or define a new one for this specific button. So for instance, if you still want to use the original remote as it's set up, go ahead and create a new line, define plus the name of the button, say new remote, and then put that hashtag number, the command number, on the right side of it, so that way it attributes that information to that new macro name, so that way you can call it later when you pull the decoding button. From there, all you have to do is add the code to interact with that pressed button, and you can do whatever you want once you get to this point. The key part is now you know how to connect a new remote, the commands of that remote, to your IR turret, and you could do this with however many buttons that you want. While you can do quite a few things with infrared remotes, there are a few limitations. The first limitation simply being you cannot use the infrared remote to like this video or subscribe to this channel if you're finding this content useful. Number 2 is the IR remotes are not directional, meaning you can't use the IR remote to direct it just by pointing at it and expecting it to know where you are pointing from. Other thing is distance. If you have a smaller remote with a small load of batteries in it, they don't have a lot of power to it, so you might not be able to get a lot of distance with it. Now some of the regular TV remotes that you might be wanting to hack, they have the AA batteries and sometimes bigger LED lights that will have a lot more power, giving you quite a bit more distance. Don't forget to check out the other video where I was shooting myself in the face with the IR turret as I was testing a whole bunch of different remotes around the house. And if you want to know another hack, here's another one that goes into how I hacked the remote to reject anybody else from using it when they try and press the up, down, or fire button.